the Protestant has a different way of offering their Eucharist to the parishioners.
Yes.
Sometimes they have a big bread,
Yes.
small bread like a crackers, and a small wine tray, and the
Yes, yes,
plastic. Compared to the Catholic, who is very artistic. I like the Catholic way. Like to pray. Now, my question is, which one is more presence of the Lord in the
Very good question. Thank you for that. Do Protestants have the Eucharist? The short answer is no. Because the Eucharist can only be celebrated by a validly ordained priest in communion with the whole Catholic Church. So we're Roman Catholic, yes, but if you go to a Maronite Catholic church, is their Eucharist real Eucharist? Yes. They do things a little differently than we do, but they're in communion with us, meaning we share the same profession of faith. So looking at, and we don't have much contact with Eastern rites, maybe some of you might, but majority of us are contact with, or with the Orthodox. Yeah, not many of us would have the contact with them. I mean, some will have a relationship, but I think many of us here in the U.S. or here in mainstream America, if you will, our contact as Catholics are going to be with what? Protestants, right? And with the Protestants, they don't have a sacramental system. You know, they don't have the sacraments at all, except for baptism and marriage. That's about it. And depending on which Protestant form or Protestant group that you go to, they might have this or that, or they might have confirmation. Some might have Eucharist. Down the street from our church, there's Centerville Presbyterian. They do Eucharist. I forgot what they call it. They do it once in a while, but it's more of, it's not Jesus Christ truly body, blood, soul, and divinity. It's, see, we're all sharing. Sharing is caring. Yes, exactly. It's a symbol. Yes, exactly. And yes, and our Lord was not talking about a symbol. By the way, would you believe in a symbol? Would you stake your life? Would you die for a symbol? Probably not.
A memory.
But you want the real thing. I'll die for the real thing. Okay, they turned the thing on. That's probably made their thing. Father, go away now. Yes, yes. Yes, last question. Oh, you're the last question. Oh, so there, over there, and then yes, ma'am.
I want to share that I was invited to an Eastern rite at Mount Tabor, and experienced the monks, and that changed my perspective of the reverence portion of the Eucharist. And ever since, I think it cured my ADH when I'm out in church, and then my attention went everywhere. Ever since, I focused my attention on the reverence of the Eucharist.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in the back of the church or anywhere in the church, it's just so different from our culture that I feel that huge reverence.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes. The reverence. The reverence is so key, and that's where you're going to get the most out of it. Is depending on where your heart's at. You know, these days you have the normative way to receive Holy Communion in the diocese and in the United States is to receive Holy Communion standing, in your hand, or on your tongue. Some places they kneel. Our Lady of Peace, they do, yeah. Some priests, they get very upset when the people kneel to receive. For me, if they kneel, I'm not going to make a big deal of that because that's where their heart is. Because you could have reverence by doing this. You could have reverence by doing this, or you could have reverence by doing this, right? You know? Who am I to judge how people where their heart's at? Although, I found at times people come to the communion, they're so nonchalant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll come late for Mass. Oh, I had one. It was a daily Mass. She came in late, finishing giving communion, and then she's running up. So I just turned around. I said, go to the next. So we have 2 Masses back to back. So I said, go to the next Mass. But anyways, but do you see what I mean? Where's their heart at? You know, you have to participate before you receive. You don't go straight for the dessert, although I'm looking that way. You don't go straight without having the meal, you know. So reverence is very key. So thank you for that and for the reverence. And you know, it's Father Groeschel, Benedict Groeschel, you know, remember him? He had said, I think, in one EWTN thing or on his show, he says, if people are being irreverent in church, and maybe this is him being, you know, an elderly man, he says, if you see people talking in church and being, you tell them to shut up. So anyways, we have one guy in my parish that does. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, be nice to them, you know. But it's okay. So reverence is key.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, how do you explain in a simple way to non-Catholics that, yes, we receive Jesus Christ in that host? I mean, if you are non-Catholic, how do we do it? How?
Well,
Simple way. In simple
you know,
ways.
the only way that you could do it is by witnessing that this is Jesus. I don't know. This is Jesus. This is Jesus. Well, it's like, take for example, what's your name? Annie. Annie, for this moment, you're going to be my mom, okay? Yes, okay. So Annie's my mom. How do I know that's your mom? That's my mom.
Period.
That's my mom, period. I don't know. I mean, she's beautiful. She's nice. She spanks me sometimes, but she's my mom. I don't know. Yeah, but prove it. Really? She's here. It's my mom. But you get my point, right? We could go through all these things, you know, Jesus Christ said here, this is this. We could look at the languages. We could look at, you know, what the church talked about over through the course of histories. We could do all that. But you know what? Is it all from here? It's going to be from here. And a life transformed. Because remember, imagine what Jesus Christ did. When I read it to you at the beginning. He broke open the scriptures. And he took blessed, broke bread. And their eyes were open. Their hearts were burning within them. So maybe there's the itinerary right there. We got to learn what the scriptures is saying about it. You know? And then also tell them, look, I can't, I'm not, you could say, I don't have a deep theological degree. I didn't get the chance to go to a pontifical university or something. But I know this is my Lord. And I love Him. I don't know how I could explain it to you, but I love Him. It's just, He's there. And so to end, I'm going to share with you this one last image. Last year, at the beginning of the Eucharistic Congress there in Cebu, they had it in the Plaza Independencia. The big mass, they had a cardinal there and lots of bishops, and it was very warm. Well, what they did was all the hosts, and this was a mass for thousands of people, what they did was that they didn't just carry the Saboria, they carried the whole tabernacle. And they didn't have just one, but they had like a dozen. And they had the seminarians carrying the tabernacle to a truck to be taken to the church, to be for the Eucharist to be put and stored, kept safely. Well, there was sort of chaotic after that first Mass. You all had to go to our buses, and it was hot, and lots of crowds. And I guess this time in the Philippines it's not raining too much, but I think there was a storm that had happened there before.
Yeah, that's why they moved in.
Was that?
Yeah, that week.
That week there was a storm, remember? Yeah. And they said, oh, Cebu is very nice in January. And then when it got there, it was raining. And it wasn't just little rain, it was like... Well, there was a storm had happened, and the ground became very, very muddy. Well, we're there waiting for our bus. And I remember the seminary were coming. And someone kept yelling out, "It's the Lord! It's the Lord! It's the Lord!" And then the people, as Jesus was walking by, right in the mud, and the Lord was being taken. Can those people explain that and convince? I don't know. But they convinced me that that's the Lord by the witness of their lives. They showed me the reverence. They showed that Jesus is present. They showed me that this is the fullness of it. What more? What more? Yeah. So, I think that's it. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time.
It's okay. Enlightening experience. Didn't we?
Yeah.